Halloween? It's a fun and spooky holiday, celebrated on October 31st each year. But do you know how to talk about Halloween in English? Today we'll explore Halloween-related vocabulary. Learn how people discuss their Halloween plans, favorite activities, and the traditions associated with this festive occasion. Whether you enjoy dressing up, watching scary movies, or decorating your home, understanding Halloween vocabulary will help you join in on the fun conversations. Let's get started and discover how to celebrate Halloween in style. Vocabulary: pumpkin. We carved a scary face into the pumpkin for Halloween night. Costume. Everyone at the party wore a unique costume, but hers was the most creative. Trick or treat. The children shouted, "Trick or treat," as they knocked on the door. Haunted house. They screamed when they entered the haunted house filled with ghosts. Ghost. The story about the ghost in the old church made everyone shiver. Skeleton. The skeleton decoration in the yard danced under the moonlight. Witch. The witch brewed a mysterious potion in her cauldron. Zombie. The kids dressed up as zombies and shuffled down the street. Spider. We found a giant spider decoration hanging in the corner of the room. Candy. After trick or treating, they sorted through their candy to find their favorites. Conversation 1. Hey Mia, are you excited for Halloween this year? Absolutely. I love the costumes and all the spooky decorations. But I've always been curious. What's the story behind Halloween? Oh, it's pretty interesting. It actually started with an ancient Celtic festival called Samhain. They believed that on that night, the barrier between the living and the dead was really thin. No way! That sounds kinda creepy. What did they do to keep the spirits away? Well, they would dress up as ghosts and monsters to confuse any real spirits that might be wandering around. The idea was to make the ghosts think, hey, these people are just like us, so they won't harm us. That makes sense. So it was all about protection. But how did we get from scaring off spirits to kids dressing up for candy? Good question. But to be honest, I'm not so sure. But I guess it's a way for people to make the festival more interesting. Kids dress up as little ghosts for a cuter purpose. They pretend to be trick-or-treaters to encourage adults to give them candy. If the adults don't, they might play tricks like real ghosts. So, under this reasonable excuse and festive atmosphere, it becomes acceptable for kids to enjoy candy. Normally, children aren't allowed to eat too much candy, but Halloween is an exception. So when kids say trick or treat, it's like a playful reminder that if they don't get candy, they might play a little trick on you, just like the old spirits. Exactly. It's a fun way of continuing the tradition while bringing in a festive spirit. It turned something once frightening into something enjoyable for everyone. I love how it all connects. Do you have any costume ideas for this year? I'm thinking of going as a ghost. It feels traditional and ties right back to the history. Perfect. Let's make sure we have some spooky makeup to go with it. Conversation 2. Hey Sarah, have you thought about what you want to do for Halloween this year? I have. I'm really excited about the costume party. I'm thinking of going as a witch. How about you? That sounds fun. But I was thinking it might be cool to have a scary movie marathon instead. Really? What movies do you have in mind? I want to watch some Halloween-themed films, especially the story of Stingy Jack. It's such an intriguing tale. Stingy Jack. What's that about? Well, it goes like this. Stingy Jack was a clever but mischievous man who tricked everyone, including the devil. One night, he invited the devil to have a drink with him. When it was time to pay, Jack didn't want to spend any money, so he cleverly persuaded the devil to turn into a coin to cover the bill. Wow, that's clever! What happened next? Instead of using the coin to pay, Jack kept it in his pocket next to a silver cross, which prevented the devil from changing back into his original form. Jack then made a deal with the devil that he could have more time to live. But when Jack finally died, he found out that heaven didn't want him because of his tricks, and hell didn't want him either because he had outsmarted the devil. That's so wild! Exactly. So, he was left to wander the earth in darkness, and the devil gave him a burning ember from hell to light his way. Jack put it inside a carved turnip, which is how the tradition of jack-o'-lanterns began. That's actually really interesting. So, the jack-o'-lantern symbolizes his wandering soul? Yes. It's such a spooky yet fascinating story. I think watching a movie about it would be way more thrilling than just going to the costume party. You know, you're right. I'm definitely intrigued. Watching that movie sounds like a much better plan. Awesome! And we can carve some jack-o'-lanterns while we watch to really get into the Halloween spirit. Yes, let's do it. I can't wait to see how our jack-o'-lanterns turn out. Okay, that's all for today's practicing. Hope you enjoy it. Bye for now.